All right. Good morning, Arizona. How is everybody doing out there today? I know not a lot of people are going to be in the live chat this morning. Did not announce that we were going live. Like I never announced that I'm going live because I never know when I get the opportunity to go live. So it's 8:17. 8:17 on this beautiful Thursday morning. It's 77 degrees down here in the valley this morning already. Stepped outside, the smell, it was that summer smell in the air. We had some of the landscapers cutting the grass, trimming the shrubs, trimming the trees. So that smell was just, I love it. It's that summer smell. It's that spring, but I don't think we have too much of a spring here in the valley. But 77 degrees, beautiful. If you could live anywhere, you'd always say like when you're on vacation at these beautiful spots, and you wake up and it's like 75 and there's low humidity, and the high that day is going to be 88, and you're like, if I could live anywhere, I would live a place like this. This is one of those mornings where you're like, man, it'd be great if every morning, felt like this. But we know it's going to get hotter. We know it's going to be like 95 in the morning and 110, 115 in the afternoon. But it is what it is. But it looks like we're going to hit 99 degrees. They refuse to put the triple digits on the forecast that I'm looking at this morning. So they refuse to say it's going to be 100 degrees on this Thursday. But if we're already starting off at 7:30 in the morning, 7:30, 8 o'clock at 77 degrees down here in the valley, I believe we're going to hit triple digits today. And then we're set up as I'm looking through for the mid 90s for the rest of the week through Tuesday. So looks like some beautiful weather in the valley. Absolutely beautiful weather. Hey man, anything under 105 degrees I'm good with. Really anything under 109 degrees I'm good with. I was going to do a YouTube video on what I'm going to be talking to you about today, and I wasn't really sure how to do that YouTube video. And you'll see as we go along in the show. But I was like, after the show, I'm actually going to upload my podcast of what we're going to be talking about here. So if you want to share the podcast, that would be great. The Arizona Timeless Tours podcast. I think that'll be episode number 28. And we're really close to 2,000 listens, so it'd be greatly appreciated if you did that. And what else was I going to say? I was going to say something else about the podcast, but I forgot because I'm old. Let's see here. I did some big news on one of the podcasts, and one of the big news, if you didn't listen to that podcast, is that we're going to start covering a brand new state. I've been asked on TikTok mostly if I could cover another state, and I used to laugh at that about 5 or 6 months ago. But we are going to explore a brand new state, and that's going to be the state of Texas. So starting sometime in the first or second week of June, across all of my social media platforms, I will probably change the name to the Aztec, the AZ-TEX, the Aztec. All the social media pages will be the same, though. I'm not going to start any new pages for the state of Texas. We're just going to merge them in with the great state of Arizona, with the Arizona Timeless Tours. But we will be changing the name from the Arizona Timeless Tours to the Aztec, probably around the second week of June. So I'm really looking forward to that, looking forward to covering the history of the great state of Texas. Also, we will keep up with Arizona, but we've been doing Arizona now for 4 years. We have so much content out there across all the media platforms that it's time to expand, right? It's time to expand into another state. So all those people who asked me on TikTok, the close to, we're about 200 followers away from 60,000 followers on TikTok in the last 11 months. So if you don't follow me there, it'd be greatly appreciated. You go over there, hit that follow button. Let's get that thing up to 60,000 followers for the Arizona Timeless Tours and soon to be Aztec. All right, let's swing over to the chat this morning. And we got Jessica's on here. Good morning to you. Good to see you. This morning, again, I'm doing this live only because I do not know how to do this video as a YouTube video, because you're really going to be looking at absolutely nothing. You're going to be looking at a pile of dirt. But The reason I did it is because we're so quick to destroy history, or we're so quick to pass history on a daily basis and not realize that it used to be there. The valley is growing so quick. The housing market is out of hand right now. People are standing in line in open houses and starting bids at 8 o'clock in the morning. And there might be 15 people in line, and one person's getting the house and it's going to sell within the first hour or two. It's crazy down here. So we're knocking down all kinds of history in Arizona for the brand new housing developments. And the place that I'm going to speak about today is located in Apache Junction. And if you're listening to me this morning and you're live and you live around Apache Junction and you know anything about the subject I'm going to be talking about, please chime in. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm right. Most of the time, tell me where I'm right. And also, if you're listening live, I got a new microphone set up here. So if it's too loud, tell me and I can turn it down a little bit. Still working on the microphone setup here. So if I am too loud to you right now, say, Dean, turn the stinking mic down. It's too loud. Okay. So what are we going to talk about? First, about a week ago, I was out at the Superstition Mountain Museum, and I've been out there for I don't know. I think I've been out there like 10 times since I've lived here, 10 times since 2012. We'll say I've driven by it on the way to the Apache Trail probably about 35 times in the last since 2012. But and that's going to be another episode. Maybe we'll go live tomorrow for a Friday morning live on the Apache Trail, because sounds great here. Thank you so much. The Apache Trail, I love it. It's a national treasure, I believe. It's top 3 most scenic drives in the United States. It's been written about across the world as one of the best scenic drives to take, and it's in danger of never opening back up again. So we're going to go. I saw a billboard on my way home from the Superstition Mountain Museum that says hashtag Save the Apache Trail. That caught my eye because, folks, the Apache Trail has been closed. When we get to June of this year, 2021, the Apache Trail would have been closed for 2 years, and it doesn't look like it's going to be back opened. So we got to fix that. We got to get the petition signed. We got to contact our governor. We got to get something done to get the Apache Trail back open, but that's for another episode. Okay, so I was at the Superstition Mountain Museum and went through their little museum area, because if you go to the Superstition Mountain Museum, it's free. I mean, it's a beautiful place to take the kids and the family and guests from out of town. It absolutely doesn't cost you anything. And but the only thing that does is if you go into the gift shop, they have a little museum. It's like their historical society area, and it'll cost you $7 for an adult to go through. The museum worth every penny. Very small museum. Won't take you more. I mean, unless you read the stuff like I do, it took me 45 minutes to get through this small museum. It would take most people like 15 to 20 minutes tops. But I bought a book, and it's this book right here. If you want to go and purchase it from the Superstition Mountain Museum bookstore, The Queen and Her Court, a true history about the Apache Ranch. Great book. What is the book about? Well, the book mostly has some great pictures of Apache land, some great pictures of the Superstition Inn in Apache Junction, which we're going to be talking about today. And why they ripped that sucker down in 2006 is beyond me. So if you live in Apache Junction and you're watching this on a replay, and I am completely wrong about my take on the Superstition Inn, or the Grand Hotel as it was called before it was torn down in 2006, please leave a comment. Get a hold of me at deanb7010@gmail.com. Let me hear the other side of the story. But I can't figure out why Apache Junction did this. It could have been a great tourism spot. Think about it. They have 2 spots I'm going to talk about today that are gone. And then they had the Apache Trail off the 88, which most people took to go to the Goldfield ghost town, the Superstition Mountain Museum. The only reason that the Lost Dutchman State Park is where it's at is because of the Apache Trail and how much traffic was on the Apache Trail. The only reason that Tortilla Flat stayed in business is because of the Apache Trail and the people coming from the Roosevelt Lakeside and then turning back around and eating there and spending the day. taking guests, taking out-of-towners, going four-wheeling and stopping in Tortilla Flat. That's all going to be gone if we don't save the Apache Trail. But again, I got to get off of that. So anyhow, do email me if I'm wrong, if you have a different take on what I'm going to speak about today. But the Queen and Her Court, a true story about the Apache Movie Ranch. I saw a sign in this that was on the Grand Hotel. And in 2015, this sign was still existing in Apache Junction. So I thought, I'm going to get in the car. It's only like a 20-mile trip from my house and go out to Apache Junction because I can't believe I've missed this historic sign for this historic hotel where movie stars stayed in the 60s and 70s in Apache Junction. I always tell people, think about this. If you've lived here your whole life, what was it like in Gilbert, Mesa, Tempe? I don't know. Let me think of some other spots. Chandler in 1960 here in the desert, in the valley. What was it like? Was there air conditioning? Did every house have air conditioning? Because every place in that brand new hotel in 1960, the 133 rooms, I believe it had air conditioning. I mean, that was huge at the time. No wonder movie stars and singers stayed at the Superstition Inn Hotel. I do these rants and then I get off of what I was going to say originally. Okay, so I was looking for the sign and I've been there and I'm like, it's supposed to be in the center of town. Okay, so I'm like, I know I've gotten off at Idaho. That's the main exit to go to the Apache Trail. And then in the middle of town there, you take a left and it's right there. It's where the Lost Dutchman Monument is at. That's the middle of town for Apache Junction. And so I drove out there, and I didn't realize that at the time. And if you haven't been to the Lost Dutchman Monument in Apache Junction, this is the location that you need to get to see what was this historical site. So let me bring up a picture real quick. Go into the graphics section here. How many people have been right there? You know, I wonder if I can... I do this sometimes to take a cup of coffee so you can't see my face, but we're going to move this over here and see if it'll work better like this. Can I do it like this? No, it's not going to let me do it. Okay, right there is the Lost Dutchman Monument. Been there since the 1930s. The plaque that I'm going to show you in a minute was actually stolen back in the days, and they found it, they got it back, and they replaced it with a brand new plaque. But I've been there at least 4 times since I've lived in the great state of Arizona, doing some TikTok and YouTube videos and thinking it was pretty cool, but never really understanding why there's nothing behind this sign but trespassing signs on a pile of dirt. It doesn't make any sense. And but here's another picture of the Lost Dutchman Monument in Apache Junction. This is the center of town, folks. This is the center of town. Never realized that until I read the article about the Superstition Inn Hotel. And let's see here. Here is this plaque right here, right down here at the bottom. The plaque at the top tells you that this plaque at the bottom was actually stolen at one time, and they got it back, and that's the original plaque down there. So that's cool that that's back there. That's a closer view of it. Really tough to read when you're there in person. Definitely not possible on these pictures. And then there's the plaque that's up on top of it. See here, erected by, see here, I can barely read that thing. I want to say it's like 1938 that this monument was placed there, 1938. So when this monument was placed here, the hotel was right behind it. So I'm there and I'm looking at this and I can't believe that this is the same location that this Grand Hotel sign used to be in now. So I go there and I park. You can park right in front of this monument right here. Let's see if I got a better picture. That's definitely not a better picture. Let's take that off of there. Anyhow, you can park right in front of this. Where I'm standing here, you can actually pull your car that close, take a picture, check out the monument, turn around, get back on the road, and head on out. But right back behind that monument, which is this picture right here, as you go back behind the trees there, it's nothing but a bunch of weeds, dirt, overgrown shrubs. and a bunch of do not enter private property, you will be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. It doesn't make any sense, because on the other side of it is Idaho Street, and then you're back to the 88 where you're heading down the Apache Trail. It's not that big a piece of property that you can't be walking on it. When I was there, there were a lot of people there, homeless people sleeping under the trees next to the do not enter private property. So I'm looking around, and I don't see this sign. A gentleman comes in that does the landscaping around the Apache, about the Lost Dutchman monument. And I went over to him. I'm like, did there used to be a sign here? And he said they did. He's like, I think a couple of years ago they took it down. Now, this sign was a couple stories high. It was no small little sign that said the Grand Hotel, but there were pictures online from 2015. So the sign is gone. I went to the location because you could see a few of the stores in the background. So I blew it up, and I'm looking, and I'm like, yeah, this is the exact location of this sign where that gentleman was laying under, he had camped out for the day underneath the shrubs of where this sign used to be. So I took a picture of that. And so this area is a historic spot. And it was the home of the Superstition Inn that changed to the Grand Hotel that was called like the Superstition Ho at the beginning, built in 1960 at a cost of $1.8 million. I believe it had 133 rooms, all air conditioned, a beautiful spot in Apache Junction in 1960. What did Apache Junction look like in 1960? But a lot of famous people that were filming at Apache Movie Ranch stayed at this hotel. And this is why I don't understand how it could have been demolished in 2006. How could they have not saved a piece of this hotel, then maybe put murals like they do on Roosevelt Row of all the famous people who stayed there, maybe some statues, make a park? It would be a huge tourist attraction today. And now that the Apache Trail is closed down, what is the tourist attraction in Apache Junction? Well, the thought of tearing this building down before we get to who used to stay there, the thought about it was back in 2002, the final owner, because there were many owners, many name changes to the hotel. The hotel actually caught on fire in 1979. I read an article. A lot of the hotel was destroyed in 1979. But this is the deal. It wasn't an eyesore in 1979 because they rebuilt the hotel, the part that had burned down. So they could have got rid of the hotel in 1979, 19 years later. Apache Movie Ranch is really coming to the end of its, his big time movie shooting days. Really in 1984, it closes for a little while until a film is produced there in 1994. But so in 2002, the final owner dies. They decided that they're going to sell, and they're going to auction off some of the items inside the hotel. Now, again, the hotel is being called an eyesore, not a place that anybody wants to stay for some reason. And so they start auctioning off things. Now, for a place that's an eyesore, that nobody wants to stay, they want to see it demolished. The land costs a lot of money. I guess they're going to get a lot of money back in 2006 for the land. And they actually, they're auctioning off bedroom furniture that's in the room, box springs, all this, toilets. Yeah, toilets, I said. They're auctioning off all this stuff, lamps. And I'm thinking to myself, why would all these people gather there for an auction of all this, like, what they call crappy stuff? Well, they knew it was historic. They knew it was historic, that this hotel was historic, and people have that stuff in their homes now, waiting to sell it. And so what they were thinking of back in 2002 is they were going to redo this town of Apache Junction. They were going to make this area the center point. And the road there, the 4-way road right there, is really nice. The road is nice. The landscaping around the road is nice, but the area, the stores and stuff around it, if you compare it to maybe Chandler or Gilbert or Mesa, or going up to Avondale or Glendale, if you compare it to their town centers, I don't see it even being close to any of those areas. And it's not saying anything bad about Apache Junction. It's just saying they had this vision back in 2002 that they were going to make this downtown Apache Junction area after they tore down this historic hotel, and they were going to use 100 acres of land that were around that hotel to make this a beautiful part of Apache Junction. And their vision was looking into 2000. It was looking into 2020. So in 2002, they were looking into 2020 of having this thing totally complete. Now, I'm making this in May of 2021, right? And guess what? They have a brand new park in that area. It's very small with very little parking. They have a few stores around there, like an antique store and things like that. But to make it the grandeur that they talked about back in 2002, it is not. It is not. Now, if you've lived in Apache Junction your whole life, or if you know that place since the 1980s or 90s, tell me I'm wrong. Tell me that it's much better, that the town center is what you expected as a taxpayer for it to look like, and knocking down this historic hotel was worth what you have out there today. And what you have out there today at that hotel that they demolished finally in 2006, so roughly 15 years ago, is dirt. All you have there is a pile of dirt, weeds, a few homeless people camping out in that area that says "Do not enter, you'll be fined," and that's it. On the corner there, on the major corner in Apache Junction that people drive by all the time. It's why, the town that you grew up in, or you might be listening to this and you live in Montana or Ohio or New York or Florida, you might drive by an area that's no longer there. But, years ago, there was a home there that stood for 160 plus years. A major individual from the town used to live there, but they demolished it. Nobody knows about it because that generation passed away. We do that all the time in the state of Arizona. They're knocking stuff down all the time to build new resorts, new housing developments, new roads. And I understand it. I understand it. But they've done nothing to this area of the Grand Hotel. Nothing. And think about if they would have saved a portion. I'm not talking about saving the whole hotel. It was a much smaller hotel after the fire of 1979. But if they would have saved just a couple of rooms, made it a park, put a couple statues of some famous people like Elvis Presley. Think about Elvis coming there in 1968 to film the movie Charo. Think about this for just a second. When I did the research on this, in the book, and I'll bring this book back over here, The Queen and Her Court, that you can purchase at the Superstition Mountain Museum. This book is great. This book cost me $17.95, but it's got all the newspaper articles in it and pictures in it. And they have a picture of Elvis climbing the back stairs to the Superstition Inn in 1968 because he bought a whole floor of the Superstition Inn back in 1968 for his entourage, the Memphis Mafia, all the guys that followed him. And it was like 130 plus guys that were with him in 68 for the movie Charo here in Apache Junction, Arizona. And so he rents his whole room out. There's pictures of him at the Superstition Inn. Just keep that floor and people will come from around the world. They go to Graceland all the time. They have pictures of Elvis all over the Superstition Inn and the Apache Movie Ranch in 68. Now, let's think about something here. It even says it in the book, but I did my own research on it. Think about what 1968 was for Elvis. Elvis hadn't appeared live on stage since 1960. He was, prior to coming to filming the movie Charo and staying at the Superstition Inn in Apache Junction, he was filming a TV special called Elvis. And again, going to be the first time he's appearing live on stage since 1960. He's making all these movies, and I'm a huge Elvis Presley fan, have been since the day I believe I was born. I was born in the wrong time. And I read articles and stuff on Elvis to this day. I was more as a kid, I would listen to his music than I do now, but it's still a huge Elvis fan. And so he produces this TV show called Elvis. All right, it's going to be this huge thing, but it's going to become iconic. Rolling Stone magazine is just going to call it one of the greatest ever. All these critics and out there loved this TV show. Hold on one second, folks. I'm going to just pop off the camera to do something really quick. I'm just going to go down here, down this way. Take care of something down there. Okay, I'm back. Okay, so Elvis is here. What did he do about 2 months prior to arriving in Apache Junction? He was filming that TV show. Okay, that TV show is going to become known for all of us now as the 68 Comeback Special. Just watched it the other night before I went out and looked at this place. The 68 Comeback Special. You know when Elvis is dressed in that black leather and he's singing all of his songs back on stage for the first time in like 8 years, looking like the Elvis everybody wanted him to look like. This is the guy that everybody, when they think Elvis Presley, they think the 68 Comeback Special, right? It's not the young Elvis. It's not the really old, overweight Elvis. This is Elvis in his prime in 1968 for the Comeback Special. That hasn't been released yet. He finishes recording that, and he comes here, folks. He comes to Apache Junction, and he stays at the Superstition Inn, and he rents out a whole total floor for his 130 in his entourage. And he films Charo. And the only reason he looks a little bit different than he does in the 68 Comeback Special is because he grows a beard. His whole entourage, even Colonel Tom Parker, the corrupt manager of Elvis, he even grows out a beard for this Western movie that they're filming. Elvis, he's given rave reviews on the movie Charo. They think it's his best movie ever because he's not there just to sing and dance around. He doesn't sing at all during this movie. The only time you hear Elvis singing in the movie Charo is during the opening credits. He sings the song Charo. That's it. He is there to act. And I think he does his best acting job ever. And it's his 29th film at that point. 29th film. That's why he hasn't been live on stage since 1960. He's filming all these movies, making all this money. Again, under Colonel Tom Parker, probably worst manager in history. Anyhow, Elvis is there. Okay. Who else is there? Jack Palance. Jack Palance, I don't watch a lot of old country things, but on City Slickers, Jack Palance cracked me up. Ronald Reagan stayed at the Superstition Inn. There is a great article in here from 1965 talking about Ronald Reagan poolside at the Superstition Inn, talking about running for governor of the state of California, 1965. Think about that. Think about the history there at the Superstition Inn. Ronald Reagan, now he didn't announce it, but later there was an article put out that they were looking for somebody to replace Ronald Reagan because he was going to run for to be governor of the state of California. And there are pictures of him at the Superstition Inn. Who else we got here? We got John Wayne spending time out there. John Wayne loved Arizona. He loved that area. We have Steve McQueen out there. Audie Murphy, the famous Audie Murphy. We have so many people staying at the Superstition Inn and out at filming at Apache Land Studios. And we knocked it down in 2006, and it's still a dirt pile out there with it looks terrible. And nothing has been done with it for 15 years in Apache Junction. So was it worth tearing down this historic piece of history? I can go on and on about this place. Let me show you. I did a little, just a video on my phone of what this area looks like if you're not really sure. So I'm going to go in here and hopefully I'm going to find the right video. So just stand by for just 1 second. Let me go in here. Let's see here, Dean. Let's pull up. I'm hoping that I'm going to pull up the right thing here. I'm hoping that this is the right thing to pull up. But
and the first spring training game was played on the 10th of March of 1960.
Let me pull that out. That's not it. Let me go back. This is great when I go live. I think I have things in the right folder for you, but then I really mess up. So let me go back into the video area. And we know it's not this one here. So which one is it? We know it's not that one. Let's see if it's this one. Let's see if what we got is right. Yeah, there it is. There it is, folks. Take a good look. That's what it looks like today after 15 years. What's going on, Apache Junction? Love to know. DeanB7010@gmail.com is my email. If you know somebody who knows something or can prove me wrong that really was an eyesore and needed to be torn down, and that's what it looks like 15 years later, that they made, maybe they made an obscene amount of money on the land. I can't imagine back in 2006 they did, because you really have the housing crash, I believe, in 2007. So let me hear from the people of Apache Junction. Let me cut over to the chat. Oh, man, I missed the chat. There's some few people out here. Let me, Pete, what's up? Chase, are they going to reopen the Apache Trail? I heard rumors. My friend, those rumors are rumors. No, they're not. And it's not anytime soon. It's if you've seen the videos and stuff on it, it's going to take a year or two to clean it up, millions and millions of dollars. And they're thinking about making that just a walking trail. That's 44 miles from where it actually starts to go all the way over to the Roosevelt Dam area. And let me tell you something, when you get to the 188, where are you going to go? Hopefully there's a car parked over there for you, because there's no restaurant, gas station, or any kind of area you can get some food and water. It's 30 more miles to Globe. I don't understand it. Let's get to these really quick. That is the weirdest thing, that they demolished that hotel. Such a mystery and so sad it's gone. Yeah, is that Fung? I hope I'm saying that, F-U-N-G, because I'm not going to take a shot at the first name. Good morning, all. In famous K48, is that? Again, I got the old man specs on, but I think I can read this. Apache Junction has so much potential. I think it did. I've lived in Apache Junction for 35 years. Heidi. You know what? I should have attached the phone lines. I should have done it this morning and tried it out so Heidi could call in. Okay, 35-year resident of Apache Junction. Heidi, what do you know about the hotel? Why did they knock it down? Was it an eyesore? I mean, you are an eyewitness to Apache Junction for 35 years. Love to hear more from you. Maybe I will come live tomorrow and we'll open the phone lines. And if Heidi comes back on, she could call in. That would be great. They should have rebuilt Apache land. You're not joking. I did a YouTube video on that. They received just over 1,000 views about a year ago. And for my channel, that's good. And let me tell you something. I went out there because I had just learned about a year and a half ago about Apache land. And they were supposed to make this like the Western movie capital of the world, Apache Land Studios. And it was getting there, folks. They built a brand new sound studio there that if you did watch the movie Charo and you saw Elvis in the sheriff's office was actually built inside of that huge sound studio. Most of the studios in Hollywood are inside. They're not outside. Heidi, I honestly don't know why. I wish I knew. They should not have tore it down. It's a mystery to a lot of us. Yeah, it sucks to a lot of people. Somebody like me who loves this kind of history, John Wayne, Audie Murphy, Kenny Rogers, Elvis Presley. The list goes on the famous people who stayed at that hotel. Ronald Reagan, before his political career, the famous actor, like in Back to the Future, they're like, who's president in 1985? And Michael J. Fox says, well, it's Ronald Reagan. He's like, the actor? Think about it. Before his political future, everybody knew him as this great actor, voiceover guy. What was he a voiceover guy for? Let me run through this here because it's in my head here. I'm just popping through this book real quick. It's going to say it up at the top of one of these pages. He was out here so many times, it's not even funny. Shoot. Again, I'm looking through the Queen and Her Court. Get the book. Tell them the Arizona Times Tour sent you. Maybe you can get a discount at it. I don't know. It's $17.95. Well worth every penny. Great pictures. All the newspaper articles. if you live in Apache Junction, this is a great book to get on your history. Where's it at? Where's it at, folks? There's a lot of stuff on Elvis and John Wayne in here. Shoot. I know I'm getting to it. The book ain't that long. Here it is. He was in Death Valley Days series. Yeah. And he was a 15-year veteran of the Death Valley Days series. And this is an article from the Apache Sentinel from June 24th, 1966. And is this where it says, this is from June 3rd, 1966, this article that I'm going to read a little bit of. A big name Western movie personality is expected to be named soon to replace Ronald Reagan, who is now running for governor of California. He's sitting down there at the Superstition Inn pool talking about maybe running for governor. But let's tear down that piece of history. Surprised the Buckhorn Bath is still standing. And man, have you seen the Buckhorn Bath? I went down there and did a TikTok video on it because so many people wanted me to do that. Might as well tear it down, folks. Might as well tear it down because there's no restoring that. I mean, they should have restored it 20, 30 years ago. That thing looks like it's going to fall in a stiff wind. I can't even imagine. And again, the area and who's staying in and around that area, it's fenced off and everything, but the hot spring still had to exist, I would guess. But the Buckhorn Bath is not, to me, it's not savable. If you live by the Buckhorn Bath and you think it's savable, let me know. And again, we're going to get these phone lines cranking on the next episode that we do. People can just call in. But yeah, so the whole show has been about so far this unbelievable hotel in Apache Junction that was built for $1.8 million, like over 100 rooms in 1960, I believe in September of 1960. The last guest checked out 1 May 2002 after the last owner passed. They get rid of all the stuff. They auction everything off. They demolish the area because they see in the future that Apache Junction is going to be this phenomenal little town center, which I don't believe it is today. I don't think it compares to any other town center in the valley, even Queen Creek or, Chandler, Avondale, or even up in Litchfield Park, some of the smaller areas. I don't think it compares. And here's it just goes back to, there's too much history to rip down, and they did it, and it's nothing but a open lot with no trespassing signs and dirt. And it's a shame. It truly is a shame. And even the Lost Dutchman monument that they have there, that's standing there, is actually behind a brick wall. So you got to go around to get to it. It's not really on the street corner. And they should have put that closer to the street so people could see it when they're driving by, especially out-of-towners. But it is what it is. Let me tell you another hidden gem before I get off here. Another great hidden gem that's in Apache Junction. I just did a TikTok video on it. I really thought it was going to get a lot more views. I pretty much know my audience on TikTok. And when one hits 30 to 60,000 in a day, that's when I think I hit the right, button for what people want to see. And I believe I hit the right button, but it only got like 1,500 or 1,400 views so far since I posted it yesterday. But off of 16th Street. So if you get off at Idaho and you head down towards the Apache Trail and you turn left on 16th Street at the light, you go down about a quarter of a mile. On your right is the Moose Lodge. All right, the Order of Moose. And on that very spot right there, in the 1960s, it was built in 1960, 1961. Did you know that was a spring training facility, a spring training stadium there for the Houston Colt 45s? Uh-oh. I think I'm gone, folks. It says I'm still live. Go to the chat. I cannot see the chat anymore, folks. I am going to keep recording. I'm going to apologize. I cannot read the chat. It's telling me to log in. to the streaming software that I'm using to record this video. Hopefully, we're still recording. Hopefully, we're still live. I do not know. I'm going to give out this story, and then I will end this episode of Good Morning America. I appreciate everybody who's out there and who supports the Arizona Timeless Tours that's going to Texas. We're starting to film in Texas on the second week of June. Anyhow, in 1960, a spring training facility was built, and it was for the Houston Colt 45s. Who would have known? I sure wouldn't have known. Do you want to know why they built it? They built it because of the Superstition Inn. They built it because of the Apache movie studios. They wanted this place to be a huge tourist attraction. So let's bring spring training to Apache Junction. And at that time, there was just over 3,000 people. Not smart, but just over 3,000 people living in Apache Junction, and no US 60 running right through there yet. So it was out in the middle of nowhere in 1961. They built it. The Houston Colt 45s would move later, but their first game was played on December 5th, 1961. First real spring training game was played at the facility on 10 March 1962. They came back for the 1963 spring training season, and then they completely left. And they became known as the Houston Astros. But think about that. They were called the Colt 45s. But right there at the Moose Lodge, right there on that property, stood a stadium where the Colt 45s used to play from 1962 to 1963. Check out my TikTok. Check out the Arizona Timeless Tours TikTok. I'll show you the whole thing. I do have a video of it, but I'm afraid I lost some people. I still don't know if I'm live. My chat says, Dean, sign back in. And I'm like, nope, I can't sign in while I'm live. So I'm going to throw this out there really quick to end this. I do speaking engagements and tours. That's going to end at the end of May. You want to get in on a tour. I messed up my knee, but it's getting better. You want to get on a tour. You want to email me at deanb7010@gmail.com. I'll drop the link in the bottom in the description of this video. Get with me, folks. I'm stopping these tours at the end of May. They're over. The pandemic hit it hard. They really haven't been going anywhere. They're great. A lot of people ask me the cost, and it's not that much. You email me, I'll tell you what the cost is. There's a Pioneer Cemetery tour still open. We'll go from here to Superior, up to Claypool, and up to Globe, and turn around and come back. It's a 72-mile one-way trip from Gilbert. And the other one is the World War II POW camp locations in Papago Park. We'll walk around there for an hour. And then the third one that I can offer, I'm trying to think. With my knee, I can't offer the third one, the Crater Fields up at Cinder Lake above Flagstaff. But get with me. You want to hear me speak? And if you're still hanging on out there, I am thinking about having a get-together. And this is very late, so if you stayed on, you're going to know about this. I'm thinking about heading over to the Starbucks in Queen Creek on the corner of Rittenhouse and Ellsworth Loop, that new Starbucks up there by, was it Famous Dave's Barbecue, and what else is up there? Something else up there. I think I'm going to be up there early because I have to be up early on Saturday morning. So if you're one of those that, hey, wants to do a quick meet and greet, say hello, I am going to have out there at this time some of these things that I purchased that I don't need anymore because I've read all the articles. For the first one or two people that get to the Starbucks, I will sit outside, is this. I bought these at the Arizona highways, like in a beautiful binder. They used to make them like this. This one is actually dated from 1990. It's got all 12 issues from 1990 in it, binded beautifully inside of here. This is where I get a lot of my Arizona history and places to check out and tell you about. I'm going to have two of these to give away while I'm up there. So I am thinking that I will be at the Starbucks in Queen Creek off of Ellsworth and Rittenhouse. I will announce this on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok over the next, probably today, to give people a heads up. If you're an early bird, because I have to be up, this is absolutely crazy. On Saturday morning, I have to take somebody to the airport at 4 a.m. 4 a.m., folks. So I'm thinking somewhere in the area of, I mean, you got to be an early bird and want to see the Arizona Timeless Tours in person. 4, 5, 6. I won't do it that early. I'll say 7 a.m. I will be at that Starbucks in Queen Creek with 2 of those books to give out to the first 2 people that get there. Maybe even a t-shirt. I have one Arizona Timeless Tours extra large t-shirt also. So maybe the first 3 people that meet me out at 7 o'clock in the morning on Saturday, this Saturday. What is today, folks? Today is Thursday, May 6th. So tomorrow is Friday the 7th. So May 8th at the Starbucks in Queen Creek, 7 a.m. I'm going to be there because I have to be up at 4 a.m. anyway to go to the airport. I'm going to get there at 7 a.m. I'll probably stay there till about 7:45-ish if nobody shows up. And I'll have 2 of those books to give away. And then I'll have an Arizona Timeless Tours very unique t-shirt. So the first person can have their pick. The second and third person can have what's left over. But I will be there drinking a large venti coffee from Starbucks. And I will be there from 7 to 7:45. If somebody comes, then I'll be there from 7 to 8 or 8:30. But you're really going to have to want to meet me live in person. One of the things I didn't throw out there about filming the Texas thing, about expanding out to called the Aztec from the Arizona Timeless Tours, is that, yes, folks, I'll be this is news because I did not say this on the podcast. The podcast is entitled Big News. I think we got something like 80 or 85 views on or listens to that in the last 6 days. I will be leaving the area, folks. It's sad to say it. I'm still going to be covering the great state of Arizona, but I'll be leaving the area. I put out on my Facebook page one of the last journeys in the orange Jeep, and people can't figure that one out. One of the last journeys in the orange Jeep because I am selling the beautiful orange Jeep Rubicon after a little over 3 years of beautiful use on that vehicle. Probably in the next week, you will not see me driving that orange, beautiful Jeep anymore. So a lot happening in my life, a lot happening with my family and that life. And so you won't see me locally anymore. So I'll probably do 2 or 3 total meet and greets before, say, July 2nd, which is right around the corner. So if you want to meet, you meet Dean. There's nothing special here. Talk a little bit about Arizona. I will be at the Starbucks in Queen Creek, 7 a.m. Saturday morning. 7 a.m. Who's going to be there? I will promise I will stay there I will wait till 7:45 for at least one person to show up. If nobody shows up, then I'll be out of there by 7:45, go back home, maybe catch some sleep because I'm going to be tired after getting up that early. But yeah, tell people if they're in the Queen Creek area and they're early birds, Dean will be at that Starbucks from 7 to 7:45 waiting for that first person. Again, 1 t-shirt, 2 books. We'll give it out as a thank you for supporting the Arizona Timeless Tours across all of my social media platforms. It will be changing around the 2nd of July to the Aztec, which is merging AZ-TEX. That'll be the new logo. That'll be the new name. Everything will be the same other than the name. I was thinking about splitting up the social media pages. I'm not going to do that. Everything's going to fall under one. What used to be the Arizona Timeless Tours will become the Aztec. What used to be all Arizona will start becoming about 90% Texas, the great history of Texas. And I will keep uploading videos like this live about Arizona. I will keep uploading to my TikTok and Facebook page on Arizona, but not so much to my YouTube channel. These will be my YouTube videos. When I'm finished here, these videos get uploaded live on YouTube and on my Facebook page, the Arizona Timeless Tourist. That thing is a plethora of information, that Facebook page, folks. I was thinking about taking some of that information down because I was going to start a members only page, but I threw that out the window because I was trying to raise funds to do everything that I do. That has not gone well. So if you want to help support any of this, you can donate to my PayPal account on my YouTube channel only. That's all I got for people to support. People ask me a lot, and I appreciate that, how they can donate. Just people forget, I think. And you can go to the Arizona Timeless Tours YouTube channel. If you're looking at it on a computer, the right-hand corner, you'll see the PayPal account. If you're on your mobile phone, you'll have to go to the About section. It's under Dean's Adventure Tank. That's where the PayPal account is, because that money goes into the gas tank to take trips. So it has this has been a pleasure this morning. We've held on to between 10 and 12 or even 13 people at one time. It's greatly appreciated. Please get this out to as many people as possible. Share it. Hopefully I'll see some of you out Saturday, 7 a.m. on Saturday, this Saturday. Again, today is Thursday, May 6th, 7/8. So that is Friday, that's Saturday, May 8th, 7 a.m., Ellsworth Loop and Rittenhouse Road Starbucks. I'll be there from 7 to 7:45 waiting for that first person, and maybe we can have a coffee and chat a little bit. Let's see here. Boom. We'll throw that up there. Check out my podcast, folks. I'm going to upload a podcast on this very show when I'm finished here. Is there anything else I want to tell you about? There are my social media platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I'm also on MeWe, Podcast, Spotify, Google Podcast, Apple Podcast, Anchor, Pocket Cast, on all the podcasting platforms. Okay. Thank you all. It is greatly appreciated. Look forward to covering the great state of Texas here soon. Starting in the second week of June, you will start seeing some brand new Texas videos being uploaded to all of my social media platforms. I will do, of course, a few more of these before that actually happens. I'm going to go over to my chat. Still jacked up. So I can't say thank you to everybody that was in the chat because I can't see the chat. But until next time, everybody, take care of yourselves. Go out and check out some of these places in Apache Junction. And let's talk about the Apache Trail tomorrow or the next day. Let's save that. Let's get a hold of our city councilmen. Let's get a hold of our let's get a hold of our governor. Let's get a hold of some of the representatives. Let's do the hashtag Save the Apache Trail. We're gonna have a lot of quotes from President or former President Teddy Roosevelt on the Apache Trail, because he was there to open up the Roosevelt Dam in 1911, and he traveled that for like 5 hours from the Apache side all the way over to Roosevelt Dam. That's too historic for it to go by the wayside because of some mudslides and some wildfires and millions of dollars of damage. It has, but it's too historic. That thing has been a route from 1922 to present, folks. Really from 1922 to 2018. I'm just trying to find the end of stream. I'm going to end this stream. Thanks again, everybody, for coming on. I apologize to everybody in the chat because I can't see it. And until maybe tomorrow,